left coast is the best coast.
This here's rock vodka, you know what I'm saying? Can I get a Jaya?
Jaya.
Comes in 4 delicious flavors, you know what I'm saying? Blueberry, Banorch, pomegranate, and apple cinnamon, y'all. Delicious and tight as piss, you know what I'm saying? Can I get a rah?
What is going on? Welcome to the Skeleton Crew After Show with my co-host for tonight, Lack Sivrak. Welcome, General.
Thank you for having me. You doing all right?
Light show. I don't have light shows going on, even though I'm on a Mac.
Yeah,
Late night Skeleton Crew.
Yeah, man.
So yeah, we're supposed to do this last night, but internet issues happened, and the internet's working today. So Skeleton Crew show is today.
Yeah, better late than never, huh?
So it's I don't know, probably my favorite episode of the 3 now, just because it had some meaning. You know, they're in the middle of their adventure now, so we gotta go to visit a new planet or a moon, and meet a little owl named Kim. So
Yeah.
that was pretty fun. And we do got some slides today, so let's open up. What did you think of the show?
I mean, I'm still in on it, you know.
You're not walking away after 4 episodes yet?
No, I'm not the kind to walk away from a show, especially if it's Star Wars. Well, I guess I've walked away from shows, but not if it's labeled Star Wars. Like I'm forever excited about what could happen. You know,
I think I'm exactly the same. Like I think about the shows that this sounds like a good series. I'm gonna watch it. Then you watch the first episode, and maybe the second or the third, and then you're just like, I'm not. I'll pass, or I'll watch this. The next pandemic, or when I'm sick or something.
Yeah, just put it on the back. Yeah.
When I've watched every other show on Netflix, I'll watch this one.
Yeah.
But yeah, Star Wars shows.
It's hard to walk away.
I watched them all. I watched them all when they drop at 6 p.m. or midnight. Even Ahsoka and even Acolyte, just because I want to know how the story's going to end. And if that means I gotta commit to 5 hours of watch time, I'm okay with that.
Right. Well, yeah, with Star Wars, it's something that interests us all enough. What's up, Mike?
Hello, a pair of noticeably. I'm not going to read that, Mike. Welcome, Mike.
Well, hey, those could have been the mom and the aunt. Could have been her 2 older sisters. Nobody knows.
It's funny because when the slides I took, I did get a slide of the parents, and yes, the one girl, the LeVar Burton glasses girl, has 2 moms.
Well,
so, interesting.
Well, like I said, I don't know if that was established.
Yeah, it was. It's. I think it even says it in the credits.
Oh, it says female couple number 1 or something.
No, but I've seen a couple other people commenting on it, and then when I watched the episode a second time today, I caught that, that. That's her mom's, and they were like really worried because I guess she has the daughter has a sickness or an illness or something where she needs treatment regularly, and they mention that, and they're like the most concerned parents of all of them. So I think that's going to come into the show, and just because.
Well, I tell you what, the thing that disturbed me, if we want to go there, but I was disturbed that no one else had 2 parents. I thought that was the real oddity.
So Wynn, I guess the main kid, the little afro, he's got the dad, whose work is very important, and it's whatever's going on is going on. But yeah, and he mentioned in the first episode about his mom dying. So if we need to know how his mom died or not, or the man's wife, if it has anything to do with At Attin or what the great work is, so to speak. But I got a quick theory. I think sadly that girl wearing the space goggles is gonna die in this show. Like I just have a feeling her
Whoa.
if it's health, I don't know if she's space diabetic or, you know, because she's plugged into the Ethernet or something, like she needs to get recharged. I don't know what it is.
Yeah, the signal goes down.
They're definitely going to find out, and it's going to matter. Like it's going to, God is going to either have to get the treasure or get her back to her planet to save her or something. I think it's going to come down to
him
having to make a decision.
There was a few people in our community having a review the other day on, and one of the big discussions was, who is this show aimed at? Is it a kid show? Is it a everyone show? But if that kid passed away, I think that would definitely start to earmark maybe not the kid show that some.
Yeah, because I definitely don't think it's a show marketed toward kids. I think it's marketed towards Star Wars fans of all ages and sizes and religions and sexual preferences. It doesn't matter. Right. There's something in there for every person, whether you're Canadian or you're black guy in Florida or you're an Asian guy in Toronto. It doesn't matter. Or you're 12 years old or whatever. Like there's something in Star Wars for everybody, I think. And I think that's why people think that, you know, the new Disney owned Star Wars is so forced, woke, whatever the terms are. But I think it's just relevant. Like, you know, they're trying to be relevant. In the 70s, yeah, sure, maybe they wouldn't have had the kid have two space moms. But you know, not every third person had two space moms back in the day, but kind of they do now. Like it's, you know, society's
I never saw the original trilogy except for maybe Lapti Nick being, you know, relevant to the modern society.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that might be like a new idea of it being relevant. And you know, like our buddy Stu at Universal Collector, I agree with him, but he said it correctly. He said the one issue, and I agree with him, is that there's a few too many, like when you're watching this series, there's like a little bit of, you know, Pirates of the Caribbean, and there's a little bit of Goonies, and maybe,
absolutely.
But you know, it's like, I don't think that we've ever seen a Star Wars where something comes up and you go, oh, that reminds me of a completely different franchise.
Yeah, and you know, part of the fun of this, because it is nothing like anything in the Star Wars universe we've seen, other than, you know, some familiar aliens and, you know, robots walking around. You know, but we see robots and aliens walk around and, you know, Men in Black and, you know, in other movies too, right? So it's not new to us. But when I say familiar, like, you know, whether it's a Rhodian or a Hammerhead or, you know, the creatures we're familiar with, right? So, you know, the kids all being like sentient, you know, human kind of beings, and one little blue elephant kid, like it fits in Star Wars on their space BMX bikes. And and then we got the space cul-de-sac. We kind of open up to the At Attin, you know, city life, whatever you want to call it. And like I've seen people call it dystopian. Like I don't see that, because dystopian, I think of zombies and everything's blown up and burnt out, and, you know, it's like the afterlife of the original, what used to be there. But I don't see that. Like it's obviously
there was
it's a forced community somehow. We'll figure that out.
Yeah, it's definitely more well put together than any civilization we've seen in Star Wars. I mean, we've even Coruscant, right?
We've seen Coruscant. We've seen like 4 mile high rises, and, you know, like
but it has like crime and an underbelly and can be a shitty place.
For sure, the lower you go, you know, the crappier the city life
is. The lower you go. Yeah, and this doesn't
cool. Like I hope we get to see that story that George Lucas planned, whether it was called 1313 or, you know, Bounty Hunter Levels or whatever it was called. But he apparently has filmed like 50 hours or, you know, a bunch of episodes before he sold to Disney for this, you know, Star Wars Underground, I think it was meant to be called, which was like the lower levels of Coruscant and stuff like that. What the goings on is down there. And I would love to see that get made.
Yeah.
If they're footage that was taken in the late 90s, early 2000s, like
some real seedy
take
shit.
it, man, and edit it and add your CGI and
Well, that's what I think. That's what so many of us enjoyed about Andor. You know, it had a real underbelly vibe to it. You know, crooked cops and going to the space whorehouse, and you know,
the opening, the cold open of Rogue One, or was it Andor? It was Andor. He killed a dude, like he killed a fellow spy. You know, because he was crippled and couldn't climb the ladder or whatever the reason was, right?
Yeah, I thought that
slow me down. I gotta go.
Talk about hook. Oh yeah, he said, well, he knew that guy was gonna tell the stormtroopers everything they wanted to know.
Yeah,
because he was, it's all falling apart. Like that guy was unhinged. He wasn't.
And I think, from what I've heard, this Andor season 2, like that's literally where it'll end.
Is
like right where, like, you know, Andor, or sorry, Rogue One kind of begins, right? So that's kind of
what was that? The Coffrin ring or something?
I think so.
That was a cool. And this spaceport that the pirates are in Skeleton Crew is like, it's not in the middle of an asteroid, but it sure looks very similar, you know. There was a scene, that one slide that you had before of the beautiful cul-de-sac. There was a scene somewhere, it was kind of quick, but it's like right before we saw the parents, and they showed like the sides of these buildings, and it was like on street level. You didn't see any green or any trees.
Yes, and there's one droid walking by, like security droid.
Those buildings reminded me of that, like in Andor when they, I don't know what they did it, but they reconditioned those Imperial. Sent them to like the apartment complexes, and that when I saw that one part, I was like, oh, here's where you start, you know, to notice this like kind of totalitarian, scary side.
Yeah, that's a good word. Yeah. So here, like the only thing walking on the street is one of those droids, one of those security droids, and we notice all the roads got these kind of, you know, it looks like a AFX track.
Yeah, they have like a monorail or something.
Yeah, so
or I guess that's a bi-rail, whatever it was.
And there's a couple of cars there, so I guess that's Buddy's house where they're having their little parents get together.
Mm-hmm. Lovely trees.
And then here's all the moms, including, you know, Elephant Lady.
Now, the space elephant in the first episode, Wynn asked, what's his name, Neil, he said, does your mom still have your dad's tools?
Yes.
So has the dad also passed away? Because, I mean, why would
No, they showed him in that first episode in the window. He kind of had like a sweater on, you know.
Oh, okay. Because I thought he said, does your mom still have your dad's tools? Which makes it sound like, you know, he ran off and mom's going to sell them at the thing at any time.
Space flea market? Well, maybe he used to be like a mechanical guy. Because now his job is like, you know, administration. Like when all the kids kind of said what their parents did, they were all like administration kind of thing, right?
Oh, okay.
Except for Wynn's dad. Wynn's dad's some kind of science.
Who has some banging eyeglasses.
Absolutely, man.
I love those. Are great.
Another thing about Star Wars that I've liked in every series and movie is just the costume design and the set design, and you know, someone starts with a drawing and then it goes from there, and I'm just always impressed. I've never been disappointed with any, you know, set design or costume design or robot or alien design in Star Wars ever.
The only costume I can remember is maybe the Wookiee from Acolyte. There was one scene where he was a little disproportionate.
Oh, really?
You're done?
You can see the zipper?
Yeah, it was a little bit off. Pardon me for 1 second. I have a father duty to deal with.
That's all good. So we get a quick glimpse of like a mini interrogation droid. So that's cool and something fun and familiar that we all like to see, of course. I'm glad everyone's enjoying it. I still haven't seen the hate, and that's like a first. Well, not a first, but a first in a few years. Yeah, I hear what you're saying about not killing one of the children in the show, but they killed Bad Batch characters and Mace Windu. Like, people die in Star Wars. Like, we might not see it in a violent form, but people do just die in Star Wars. It reminds me of the neighborhood in ET too, when they're going trick-or-treating and stuff. So it does have strong Ablin vibes, which I'm totally cool with. Hey, Ryan. So yeah, let's go to the next slide. So yeah, we start off this episode with the kids and Jod escaping their the barracks on this pirate rock floating in space. Got some cool Jawas in the streets. And we have some familiar droids. We have a recognizable, what's it called? CZ3 droid type of droid. So that was very cool. Like I said, familiarize yourself and puts you right back in the Star Wars universe if you're off in La La Land and you don't realize it. And then we have a battle droid, which as soon as he turns on, the first words out of his mouth are, "Did we win?" So obviously it was deprogrammed or turned off, and it was the first time he was turned on. So that was a cool little Easter egg. And I heard someone say that this scene was all one continuous shot. And I didn't notice that. But if that was the case, then good work, because it was smooth. And did anyone else recognize the voice of this Ishitib pirate with a limp and a walking stick? Because I believe that is the actor. Is it Richard Mullane? Rich Mullane? The same actor who played Doc Ock in the Spider-Man movies. And he was in Indiana Jones as well. No, I get it. It would be tough. But I'm just predicting something like that is going to happen. So yeah, this actor here. Oh man, my memory. But if you know, you know. Richard, I believe his name is Richard. But he's the same gentleman that played Doc Ock. And while he's gone back to get the droid, which, can't leave the droid behind. Unless, no, I'll save that for later. So the kids are all talking about, how Jod, Nawood could have faked using the Force. So they talk about strings and magnets and repulsorless and all that fun Star Wars stuff. And Neil is trying to use the Force to levitate a stick, which I thought was pretty cute. But it's nice to see the kids communicate like this. They're not dumb little kids. They're actually trying to figure stuff out. And what we just start to see going on here in the background is Jod taking off in one of those little space bubbles, those little transports, to get back to the ship with the droid, and he's being chased by other pirates. Welcome. So I was just showing, we had, he went to go back to get Neil.
Yeah.
We can't leave without the droids, and we see a familiar droid here from the Jawa Sandcrawler.
Yep. That was cool.
CZ3, I think they're called. And then we saw another kind of a Death Star droid, was talking about saving a prince.
Yeah, saving the princess or something, yeah.
So that could be from one of Filoni's cartoons. I don't have those all memorized. And then we have a battle droid, and as soon as he turns them on, his head falls off, and it asks...
He said something, too. He said, "Did we win?"
Did we win? Yeah. And did you recognize the voice of this pirate Ishitib?
I did not. I heard you saying that a minute ago, but I did not.
I wish I knew. Does someone get his name in the chat? It's the cat who played the Doc Octopus in the Spider-Man movies.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah.
I was probably, to be honest, busy groaning about how he had to talk like a pirate. To be honest,
You did complain about that, but that was actually
I
the
heard
only
him
thing.
talking. Yeah, I was
The only
probably going,
thing I think you had to say that wasn't like 100% positive.
well, and maybe I'm just looking for more realism, which makes no sense, but the pirate accent as we know it as humans on Earth is and of course not all pirates spoke like that, right? There would have been pirates from all countries, but it's a cultural thing. It's like
I
based
get
on
it.
race. So why would all of these species of aliens who are different, why would they have the same accent? That just doesn't,
The
unless that's part of the
original pirate captain all taught him to speak like that.
yeah, unless that's the thing.
Arr.
They're like, look, if you're gonna join, if you're
Even the
gonna hang out with
droids.
us, yeah,
Yeah.
if you're gonna hang out with us, you have to talk like this, so people know that you're a pirate.
Alfred Molina. I was so far off, it's not even funny.
There you go.
But yes, thank you to my cunt.
Yes.
and Ricardo.
Yeah, Ricardo, good to see you, brother.
So yeah, a good little scene. Like it's like, oh, our Captain Silva, you're my favorite captain, matey. Arr, like, but let's
call the other guy just in case.
yeah, let's get some guards in here. Arr, But I that's what makes this more piratey, and I'm so for the pirate theme in this Star Wars show because they've always talked about pirates. Like Han Solo and Lando were considered like pirates. So Leia called them a pirate, and Jabba and his goons, like we hear about pirates, this and
right,
raiding spice, and so it's finally we actually get to see, other than like Hondo we've seen in the cartoons and whatnot, like actual space pirates. Like, do you remember a movie called like Space Pirates? Like
I remember a couple of them, but one of them
I might want to go rewatch that now just to see.
One was definitely
what they borrowed, because there's just a lot of fun movies like that from the 80s that I remember. Like another one's called Yellowbeard, where it's not like, it's like a Mad magazine, like silly humor pirate movie, and and Pirates of the Caribbean. And I do want to rewatch Treasure Island, like Peter Pan. I've heard there's hints of in this, just to see where else there's little things that you and me personally aren't picking up.
Well, the costumes when they first found the ship, when they found the hats and then the skeletons, I immediately thought I thought of Hook with those costumes for whatever reason.
Hook's another one, because I know other people are probably watch Peter Pan and Treasure Island like 3 days a week, right? Like
maybe.
You know what I mean? Like a lot more often. Like I probably haven't watched those since I was a child.
Yeah.
So my memory is based on many years of not remembering stuff.
Yeah, exactly. Among other things.
So another look, it's like they're a big asteroid with a couple holes in it and stuff, right? And they're all tethered together, like, which I thought was pretty funny. Like as they're trying to escape, he's smashing all these different ships together. And if you can see down here by my mouse, I'm going to try and zoom in. Right here.
Oh, there you go.
There's a Star Speeder from Star Tours.
Yeah, Star Tours. I'll be damned.
How cool is that?
I did not notice that until you just pointed it out. I did not see that. I was trying to look at all the other larger ships.
Same here. Like that's why I like to watch it a second time. Not only to catch little things like visually, like, and and dialogue. I'll watch the dialogue with subtitles, so I kind of catch what's going on, right?
Yeah. There was definitely some things that a few people said that I did not catch, and I thought, well, I'm gonna have to run that back and put the subtitles on.
Right, should be back to normal size, right? Cool looking ship.
Have we seen
antenna here?
Yeah, that's pretty. Have we seen any? Now that ship was in. Was that a Rebels? In Rebels, there was a ship that looked like that. It was.
I don't know, but I would drive the F out of this, man. This looks pretty badass.
You remember that ship that had the radar dish that was listening.
Yeah.
Everybody. That
was. It kind of doesn't fit in like the Star Speeder, but it's Star Wars, so it fits in, right? Like it's just because it's bright orange and white, like, and everything else is all beat up, and it was like a graveyard for ships. But I don't think we see it in this episode, but in the previous episodes, we see like the Colin Cantwell concept for Han's Millennium Falcon, which ended up becoming the Rebel blockade runner, like the Tantive 4.
Mm-hmm.
And then here's your uncle.
Yeah.
Uncle Brutus. Did I do that?
My cousin. And did I do that?
Oh.
The first time I saw him in episode whatever, I thought, who is that? I recognize that guy. And then it wasn't until because who's seen him since whatever, 1991 or whatever, whenever Family Matters was on.
Oh, he has a big weed empire now.
Oh, really?
For real, man. Like, not
I didn't know that.
Do like Cheech and Chong and Trailer Park Boys and Seth Rogen and all these people have weed brands. So does Urkel. Like, Urkel's a huge
I didn't know that.
Weed brand.
I've been out of the herb game for a while, so I don't know. I didn't know that.
The more you know. That's what this show's here for, is to educate people.
Yes,
and
dear.
I've heard this show actually helps like your hair grow. If you watch the Skeleton Crew after show, it does wonders for your skin. Like, it'll clear up acne, and if your hair's gray, it'll reverse that, kind of like Just for Men.
Really?
So the more you watch this show, you'll notice the health benefits of watching the Skeleton Crew after show. It's all there. I've got proof.
I believe that.
People are contacting me daily, telling me how much last week it saved them.
Yeah, I believe that.
So have you seen any of the little bit like, there's doing a lot of marketing, which I'm really digging. They're one of the behind the scenes, they show making of the Skeleton Crew, whether it's photos or little clips. They show the little kid actor who plays Neil, and right on his nose piece, there's like a little, he's got like eye holes, like it's a little mesh thing so you can see. And there's people with little radio controls that move his ears and his tusk, his tentacle nose.
Yeah, trunk.
So it's all practical and make his eyes blink, but they CGI that little part between the eyes back, and it amazes me, man. Like, because you would think it's either all CGI or all puppet, and the kid just can't see where he's going. But no, it's a little bit of a mix of both, which I think
definitely I had a hunch when I first saw his ear lift. It looked so, for lack of a better term, like it did not look CGI. It did look like an old Jim Henson.
No, exactly. And later in this scene, like Jod he made like a pot of green garbage or whatever, right?
Uh-huh.
Which, if this is an old pirate ship that's been sunk on this planet for hundreds of years, like, he's just eating food that's in the cupboards. Like, how?
I don't know.
Or did he go shopping? Did he stop by Space 7-Eleven and get some green?
Yeah, they stopped by us. Yeah, exactly. I thought maybe it was like that thing that Ray,
like portions or rations or whatever.
Yeah, it's like some sort of like space MRE.
And while Jod is eating it, the little Neil guy's like rubbing his tummy and like like food. Like, he's obviously he loves his food, so he's a lot like Chunk and Goonies, which I think is perfect. And when the kids go get their food, Wynn tells them, "Hey, don't get your trunk in there. Like, don't get your trunk into the bowl, into the pot." And then when Jod comes back into the room here, the kid's kind of playing with his credits, and they're all talking about, what kind of treasures could be on their home planet and stuff like that. And Jod comes in, and Wynn covers up, his space credits with a cereal bowl. And then Neil, the elephant, kind of just does the same thing, just for no reason at all, because he has no money in front of him. He just wanted to do his bowl over. So I'm loving little things like that, as silly as they are. And And this
Well,
now
I thought he was
cargo
trying to
net.
cover for him, you know, like
Yeah.
that's what we do on our planet. We turn our bowls over, you know.
And it kind of gives me the Millennium Falcon chess table vibe.
Mm-hmm.
The way the design of the bench, and this cargo net gives me Mandalorian Razor Crest vibe, because that's kind of the first place I've seen.
Did you have? I know that the lawn chairs in Andor were horrifying for you. Did you feel that way about the white hammocks that we all owned that they were sleeping in?
No, again, that here's, you can see some of it here in the background. A little more piratey vibes too, right? Like that chandelier is a little more earth looking than the hammocks, because even in space they got to sleep, right? On the Ghosts, they have like little cubby holes. They got like little tiny apartments, kind of like you might have on a turbo train in Japan.
Yeah.
But the hammock idea is cool. And
well, when they showed the close up of the whichever two kids, when he in this right before this, when he's talking to Geordie LaForge kid, they have a close up of two of them sleeping in the hammocks.
Yeah, and they're passed right out.
And they are like the exact same hammock that everyone in Florida owns, like the same color, the same.
And the scene right before, he's telling the kids, "Oh, okay, let's all go to bed now. You know, we're traveling. We can all go to bed now." And the one bratty girl's like, "Oh, but I'm not tired."
Yeah.
And then they do the screen wipe, the classic George Lucas screen wipe, and then they show her like drooling on her pillow.
Yeah,
and,
exactly.
But here he looks surprised because he sees the techie girl. Oh, I didn't get that picture.
Well, and I thought maybe she was asleep, but she sleeps with her thing down, so you don't know. I thought because he said, "What, are you not sleeping?" And then I thought she was like startled awake, but she she was faking not sleeping or whatever.
Yeah, she was awake because she stood up and kind of let him know, like,
I'm watching.
We don't trust you so much, and like I said, there's concern about her from her girlfriend, because I think because of this health thing or something that she needs to keep her ticking. Because when they walked off their ship and on this space moon, she's the only one that complains she's cold. So if that's just because they're on the moon, maybe it's cold on the moon. I assume it would be, or if that's part of her.
I don't know. I was amazed that this moon had some sort of atmosphere.
Yeah, they didn't need no breather masks or anything.
Yeah, and like there was no gravity difference. Like they weren't like kind of like floating but maybe I just, because it looks like our moon in a way.
But cool look. We got that ET kind of Amblin vibe of, Lord of the Rings, whatever you want to call it. Like,
yeah,
it works. I'm glad they got it in some of the marketing, because, if I was tasked to make a cool silhouette poster, this will definitely be it. Like, you can see all, her little backpack and her ear things all lit up here, and it looks pretty cool.
What's that?
I'm on the live stream with Left Coast Rick.
I'm a Star Wars. And here's like little Kim Owl Girl's home base, which is pretty cool. It's like Jabba's palace, but on the moon.
Her little Avery.
And this was supposed to be the first slide overall, which they're out of order, so bear with me. I can't change them now. So we kind of see the city, and it's not like Coruscant. It's very much like the suburbs of Vancouver or Miami or something. It's got a little dome here. I wonder if that dome means anything, if that's where they keep their whales. I don't know. Space whales.
I was super disappointed that this thing didn't talk like the one at Jabba's palace.
Yeah, it was her voice, like an intercom.
Yeah, I always thought that the one at Jabba's palace, that was probably one of my favorite, whatever it is, languages and dialects. Just like how I just thought that was the coolest sound.
So now,
Star Wars.
Are we led to believe that in Jabba's palace, that was actually voiced by an alien creature on the other side of that door?
Right. Right. Yeah. I mean, I guess so.
Because now I think that's what they're going to go at. Like, or maybe both could happen. But I mean, yeah, I just assumed it was a living droid.
Yeah, I thought it was like a doorbell droid that had its own.
I want one.
Thing going on. Yeah, that's cool.
Even like if it's a prop I make out of like, Lego and toilet paper rolls. Like I want to mount one of those on my wall.
And it has that spike thing. I remember in one of those cool books we used to get all the time, the tall, like Scholastic with the half of Vader's suit and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Those those door intercoms have that spike thing that is supposed to, reach out and whap you if they want you to go away.
I wonder if Rex at Millennium Workshops made one of these yet. I bet you he has.
I don't know.
So I know he made the little Rancor knockers for Jabba's thrones, and he made like a life-size Rancor head for crying out loud.
And Zombie
Hunter, these are cool. There's like 3 of them coming in out of here.
Yeah, Zombie Hunter too. He just made the I forgot what they call it, but the practice ball.
Yeah, the Jedi training remote, I think.
Yeah, super cool.
Purple Urkel. No, I've seen different interviews that tell me differently.
I have not seen any behind the scenes.
Like he's only got like 3 fingers, so the kid's gotta pick where he puts his extra fingers in the gloves because he's in a full costume. Well, yeah, there's probably scenes for sure where they might CGI the whole thing, like an action sequence or something, like riding on a speeder bike with his ears flapping in the wind.
Now this is like this owl, Kim. This is like the 4th. Hey, what's up, Brent? This is like the 4th. This is like the 4th character with the Lobot headband. Like
very much, and similar.
They're really bringing in Lobotness.
And similar to the girl, the girl has headgear like kind of like Lobot as well, but
and she has a front thing, and Urkel too. Urkel has the Lobot back end, and then he has a monocle, I guess. But
What does that mean?
that means we're talking Star Wars.
So this creature, Kim, is literally an owl.
That's a penguin.
Yeah.
Like it's not like it's like if they put a cat on screen and gave it a coat, because they didn't change it. It's not like half owl and half alien. It looks to me like if I was to see an owl outside, it would look just like this. It has wings, it has a beak, but it's cool. Like it gives me that Maz Kanata vibe. Like
I thought it was gonna be I thought that's who they were gonna go see.
It would have been cool because it's
I
a
thought that would have
similar
been
role.
the perfect. Yeah, I thought that would have been the perfect tie-in.
Tim Hortons dome. But yeah, it's a very similar character, like all-seeing, all-knowing, like Maz Kanata vibes.
Yeah, the wise old owl was a little. I mean, I love owls. I'm a champion owl caller. I said that in my review, but it was a bit strange. I was like, why is it just an owl? Like it's just an owl.
I want the action figure though.
Oh yeah, definitely. And I might use it and customize it for like an outdoor Santa scene. I might not even use it as a Star Wars thing, I
saw someone already made a custom action figure, like making it of a Yoda body and some owl that they got off a little plastic toy.
Oh yeah. I can't remember who it was, but they said, well, the owl gave me Harry Potter vibes, and I thought of but who I thought of for whatever reason was the gold owl in what was that?
Oh, Clash of the Titans.
Yeah, Clash of the Titans. For whatever reason, though that owl was obviously mechanic or whatever, but that's what I thought of was that owl.
I love that owl.
That was a cool owl. Yeah, it was
very original. Like there's been nothing like it since even.
Yeah, no, there really hasn't been.
But Kim whips out this map, which kind of looks old just because it's got torn edges and burnt edges, whatever. Like, so I'm guessing it's old. But she mentions that there was these 9 planets that all got destroyed, and yours, it looks like it's the one that's never been destroyed.
Mm-hmm.
And this is similar to that mural that's on the one girl's wall at her home, where her mom's kind of like an important thing. And there's looks like there's a Jedi maybe. There's one of those elephant people. There's one of those hammerhead Ithorian people. I don't see it in this one.
And that's the worm that ate the folk in Empire, right?
Or it looks like a Sarlacc pit right here too.
Yeah. Yeah, that was pretty. It's neat that they're putting in a few. Somebody said, I was watching, I think, Long and Long's review, but they said that some of that map has been translated from the Arabesh letters.
Yeah, I saw the two shows I watched. One got into it, and he's like, it doesn't make a lot of sense. Like there's a bunch of jibber jabber because they're real letters. There is like a chart you can, you know, translate it, but it doesn't translate to like English, like normal English, so to speak.
Oh, it's not like a World War II code or something, huh?
But maybe they do that on purpose so people, they don't want to give the whole show away because they know. Just over the past 4 or 5 years, people have been pausing and zooming in and trying to decode all these things, right? And
there's some real nerds out there. I'm still
waiting.
waiting.
The owl put up a good fight too when Jod was trying to tackle her.
Yeah, you think that? You think he? I mean, yeah. I thought I was really disappointed in Crimson Jack getting schooled by that small owl.
Yes, and that's what she called him. She called him Crimson Jack.
Crimson Jack.
So now, first he was Captain Silvo, the pirate with that cool chrome helmet. Then he got imprisoned, and in prison with the skeleton crew, he became Jod Nawood. And then the very next person they go and meet, Kim the Owl. Now he's Crimson Jack, which is a very piratey name. And Crimson Jack is a character from the old comics in 1977. And he's also a character from a more modern novelization, completely different character with the same name. So come on, Lucasfilm, figure it out. You got 3 characters with the same name now.
Right. Well, I mean, yeah, I think in the pirate realm, that's probably acceptable, though, right?
Of course. And that's the Captain Silvo. Like, it couldn't be closer to Captain Silver, like Long John Silver, like R.
Yeah, it couldn't
be. And then
be.
Crimson Jack is the most, like, Jack Sparrow? Like, why not just call him Jack Sparrow? Like, it's almost, you're using every other Disney name that you could own, right? Yeah, I guess she is kind of cat face because it looks like she does actually have a nose.
Those gray whatever whiskers or feathers definitely not the whiskers but the jowl line.
Like these are definite nostrils. And it just looks like there could be no fur on it. So if you were to cover up the eyes, it does give that cat vibe with whiskers because, to be honest, I don't know if owls have whiskers. Do any birds have whiskers?
No, none that no.
It's a canine.
In my times in the wilderness, I have had to eat an owl or two, and I've never seen whiskers on them.
Yeah, you got it, Brett. It's a cat owl. Smee.
Yeah, Shmee.
Base map. Okay, and now she's trying to break down the symbol on their jackets, and she might have figured it out, but she didn't let them know. That's how I'm seeing it. Like, she might know something, and she's just not sharing it because she's scared of Captain Jack. But
and was when he stole the little yellow coordinates, but it seems like that they probably were not complete, right?
I think that is going to be the case. Yeah. So
going to be the issue is they're going to blast off and they're going to come out of hyperspace and they're going to be like, hey, this is not the place.
Well, I think we've kind of seen in the trailers, like it looks like they visit a snow planet and some planet that's got like some big spider tarantula creature on it, which is an actual stop motion puppet made by Phil Tippett. So I'm really looking forward to seeing that because they're already showing how he made that, and that episode hasn't even aired yet. But so the kids are they're discussing, Jod Nawood or Crimson Jack now, and they're again discussing if they can trust him or not. And they got their droid with a little welder, all prepared to weld them to death, I guess.
Yeah, I found that the least threatening thing. Like the droid in of himself is obviously a badass.
Yeah, they had when he first met Jod, and he said "I" a couple times.
Yeah.
They were like head to head, or the robot was a little shorter,
Mm-hmm.
and then Jod said something, and the robot like stood up to full attention.
He like
and
bowed up on him, and he poked him in the chest. But
yeah,
you had the cutting torch on the limited amount of gas line that
Yeah.
I didn't find that as
cord.
like as a threatening implement, but whatever.
So I thought this was a cool shot, very Star Warsy.
Mm-hmm.
She lied when she broke the code because she said yes, and yeah, I agree. I think they're gonna go to somewhere else.
So you think that map is complete then, Brett? I guess the show would be over real quick if it was.
Yeah, there's still 5 episodes left.
And super disappointed that the pilot we saw was not your boy from Mando.
I am too, and the way they hyped it up, they kind of, they showed them coming in this way, and then what I thought was fun is like the kids actually, started shooting at him. Like
that will be the next ride at Disney World, will it not?
Kids shooting at X-wings.
Yeah.
But yeah, so Win shoots a couple times, and he's like, "I got him," and I don't think he got anyone, but that's kind of like Luke Skywalker. So you get those. New Hope vibes with Luke Skywalker and Han Solo and in the other cockpit, and she's kind of like the Han Solo character, kind of don't get caught, kid, So I love it rhymes. It's like poetry, as George always says. I dig it, man. It's not something to dislike, and it was a little bit jerky, and kind of like when Luke got in, it was a little jerky and stuff because it hasn't been used in a long time. Another cool shot.
Yeah, there's definitely some cool shots. Though last one you had of the X-wing with the planet in the background, I thought was an awesome. That is poster material all day long. And
we got the rebellion, the resistance logo on the side here, which is in a little different stripe pattern from Luke's red squadron. And this droid is clearly an R5D5 kind of droid.
Yeah, I saw that. That is cool. Good to see that those old boys can still get work.
Well, what they said too is, I don't know if it was a translation on Kim's data pad or if Kim says something to them here, but yeah, there's a good look at the R5 astromech. But yeah, they slowly comes in and the canopy opens and you see it from behind. So I'm like, oh no, like who's it going to be? Like, is it going to be Tiva? Like they're kind of giving us that tease. And of course it wasn't Tiva. It was just some new dude. But
yeah,
they mentioned it was the Rangers of the Republic.
Yeah.
So they're bringing back that term that was supposed to be the title of a series that's never been made. But so the pilot asked Kim, where are they going? And she's like, oh, or you won't believe me if I told you.
Right.
So
which I don't understand.
Probably will tell them. And
right,
now
this is she going to tell them?
Rangers of the New Republic will know about At Attin and what's going on here.
Right. They're going to go liberate them.
And that's how it ended. So it ended, and I'm like, oh no!
God, it's over so quick, isn't it? I think that's the one. I knew it was going to end too. There's like that. What's going on, Duff Man? It's like there's that.
Duff Man.
There's like that 30-second mark before it ends where you realize you're like, oh shit, this is going to be it.
Usually, like a lot of shows that I've enjoyed, like Sons of Anarchy, Better Call Saul, Breaking Bad. A lot of those shows, I think even the original Dexter series, when it was coming to the final minutes of an episode, a track would hit, like a song would start playing, and you would know, like, oh, once that music hits, it's coming to the end of the show, and it's usually like an epic, cliffhanger kind of a thing. Like if it was Sons of Anarchy, some shit just went down, someone just got shot, or some guns just got smuggled or
Soprano
something.
style always ends on a.
So it's usually that. And but with this series here, and I noticed a lot today, the music was a big part of it, and the music did change when the scenes changed drastically, completely different music, and some of it was very much like do 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 do, like very much like hardy har har, like pirate. It was totally like space pirate music, and I like it a lot, man. Like it's not just that classic John Williams original theme and Princess Leia theme and Luke theme and Vader theme. It's similar, but I mean, much like that Ludwig guy did with Mandalorian, he just brought a new tone in, like very Silverado cowboy kind of space music.
Yeah, super spaghetti western.
Yeah, and then they changed it up for Acolyte, and Andor's a little more classic, like John Williams style. But everyone's been a little different. Even Kenobi and Ahsoka had. I think every one of these Disney Plus series has had different composers.
Yeah.
Even up to the fact Mandalorian season 3, I think wasn't Ludwig. It was another guy that kind of came up with some new similar sounds. But I'm digging music. It does give me the pirate shanty, that kind of vibe.
Yeah, the old sea shanty. Yeah.
99.9% of the way there. Yeah, downloading to that card, right?
I thought she was just saying that. I didn't know that she actually was. I didn't think that she was like looking at the loading bar, but
no, she was contacting the rebels.
Yeah,
like I got Crimson Jack here. He's wanted in 12.
Yeah, looking for that reward. Well, and they're what are they called now? They are the New Republic, right?
Yeah. So what I've been thinking this for weeks now, and I think I said it last week. That At Attin planet, in my opinion, they just don't know that Senator Palpatine of the Republic,
yeah,
as we know it in the original trilogy, or sorry, in the prequel trilogy, it's just the Republic, right?
Right, yeah, exactly.
And then he becomes the Emperor, and he becomes the Grand Republic of the Empire. So this planet, to me, does not know there ever was an empire.
Right,
doesn't know the empire was defeated. Doesn't know there was an empire. So they think everything is still like honky-dory, like prequel, or even earlier than prequel. But to be safe, because they've called it the Old Republic a couple of times now, and the showrunners have gone out and said it's not the Old Republic from thousands of years ago. It's just,
I heard some reviews that were
kind of confirmed that it is just Republic.
Yeah,
but not now. What the Old Republic?
Yeah, pre-Clone Wars Republic.
Yeah, which I think is cool, and it gives us that link to the prequels that we don't need, but it does give it that, and it gives this planet some mystery. So either this planet is building. Here's my 3 theories about this planet. Oh, I gotta stay on brand here, Lack. My 3 theories for At Attin is either they are building all of those Star Destroyers for the future Emperor on whatever planet he's on, which I think is pretty obviously a different planet. Exegol.
Yeah.
So they're either building all these Star Destroyers, or they're cloning,
or they're
cloning stuff.
Yeah.
Or they're making stuff to build the Star Killer base for the First Order.
Right. Yeah, so they have to be doing one of those. That's
definitely going to tie to the First Order somehow, whether it's characters we've seen or it's Palion, like one of those remnant empires that we've seen the holograms of. And if Palion is like Thrawn's, second in command kind of thing.
Yeah.
So but who is this leader on At Attin? Do they call him the Grand Leader, or?
I can't remember what the mom said, but in the beginning, she said, "I will petition the Grand Poobah for
so the Grand Poobah of At Attin, which we don't know who it is yet. Like
Right.
And here's I got to do it again because
Do it.
on
Do
point.
it, baby.
The grand leader, Poobah, King Shiznit of At Attin is a droid.
Oh no! It's like the
And it's
HMFIC.
all the planet is all run by droids. These security droids.
Oh my goodness!
It's like we hear that post-apocalypse thing. I don't think it's, but I mean,
that
I
would
think
be enough reason to revolt right there.
We're all worried right now about a droid revolt on Earth. Like it's about to happen on At Attin, and they're all controlled by the future first order.
If they broke down the door and you found out that the prime minister of your country, or I think any country, if you found out it was a robot. Like
Trudeau is the true leader of At Attin.
Right, but I'm just saying, like, I think regardless of whatever, like that would have to be grounds for rebellion right away, wouldn't it? Like that's not good.
I'm trying to think, and after I watched it again today, and then I watched Screen Rant and Star Wars Mag, and one other guy I've never heard of before, but he actually did a good little, thing on the episode. Mm-hmm. None of them kind of said that the Overlord or Grand Poobah would be a droid, but none of them kind of knew or had any good perspective of who it could be. And then I thought, well, could it be Snoke?
Oh yeah.
Because is Snoke just like Snoke has to be either just a bad clone of somebody that's not Sheev Palpatine, because it's not Sheev Palpatine, right? It's pre-Palpatine, but Palpatine's people made Snoke, and I know no one wants this show to tie to the sequels, but it 300% does tie to the sequels, and somehow Palpatine will return, but not hopefully in the Skeleton Crew.
Right.
But I mean,
he'll be peeking out behind something in the last.
But who was Snoke? Like, was Snoke,
I thought Snoke was
Palpatine's son and Rey's father? Was Palpatine Andy Serkis character on Andor?
Oh no! I always thought Snoke might have been a bad clone of Palpatine, but he also what's that?
But they would have used Ian McDermott's likeness and voice because he's available.
Well, it might have been too on the nose for that.
And he was in episode 10, so they did use him. We never found out where Snoke came from.
Yeah. All right, stay frosty, baby.
Yes, the whole planet's hidden from everyone, and everyone's hidden from the planet, except that owl somehow.
But I definitely think it's. Right? I've heard some other reviews where they've, I guess, assumed. But a lot of people think, not a lot of people, but the few people I have watched, they do think that the planet's been cut off for like thousands of years, like since Acolyte time, and I don't think that's the case. I think it is just pre-Clone Wars.
Yes. So the one girl's mom mentioned when she was a kid and used to get to go lollygagging and shenanigans, the security droids would bring them home at night. So to me, that's one generation confirmed has been on that planet and doesn't know what's going on outside in the galaxy. So to me, that again brings closer to 30 years ago when it is like a New Hope era, or going on that timeline. So it does make sense if it's generational by just the one generation, but it could be others. Like she didn't mention her grandmother,
right?
We did see like family photos in Neil's garage, but we don't know if those are great grandparents or just his parents.
Well, and if the planet is supposed to be hidden for a First Order Palpatine reason, then it has to be pre-Clone Wars, and that would be the cutoff. It can't be hidden from the High Republic, the old Republic,
Yeah.
Because then it would have no chance to be tied in to the First Order or the reemergence of Palpatine, which which it could just be a hidden planet for whatever reason. There was somebody who said, I think it was one of the Long Boys, but what he read or his theory was that during the High Republic age, when the Sith and the Jedi were fighting, that the Sith would have hidden that planet.
Yes.
And,
but
that would make it
exactly right.
But that would make it thousands. It had been hidden for 1,000 years, not
it's
40
possible.
or 50.
It's possible, and maybe Crimson Jack. I know I said this during the Acolyte, like, is a Sith in disguise or something, but I mean, I just think I don't think he's a Jedi, but I think he obviously has some kind of Force abilities because he did a little bit of Force pushing, and we're led to believe he moved the keys and stuff. So I'll go with that.
The noise for those guards.
Yeah, to disturb those guards. Hey, what's that over there? Like
that
Kenobi,
was definitely
Kenobi would do.
That was definitely much more, like the kids have already discussed, and even before that discussion on other reviews, people were saying, well, maybe he moved the magnet with a key or the
that was cool.
Magnet. Yeah,
a repulsor lift.
Yeah,
string.
But the noise that he made and made the guards turn, I don't think that's something that could really be faked unless the whole group of guards are in on it. Hey, and then we're going to be in this hallway and come down there and then, then look away like I'm using the Force. Like, I don't see that as being.
And I remember I was saying that in the Acolyte, like, or in this, like, he's faking using the Force. And I bet you if I didn't ever see that character in the Kenobi show, that comedic actor, he's the South Asian comedian guy. He played that fake Jedi where he's like, oh yes, I'm a Jedi, he was just faking it. So if I never knew that character existed, I would never think that someone could do that now.
Right.
So it's in my head because they put it in my head.
No, that's a great point. And sorry, Copenhagen went down the wrong pipe. There's also I don't know what, an agenda. That sounds kind of negative and totalitarianish, but there's an agenda by Disney that the Force, is like they used to say, oh, the Force flows through us all. But the idea is that maybe you didn't have the ability to harness it. But now Disney's definitely been like, hey, Sabine, you can have the Force. Hey, so
we're giving it an Oprah style, right? Like, it's under your seat, everybody.
Look under your seat. What is it?
You get the
Force.
But with the kids ask him, like, he makes something happen, and they're like, "How'd you do that?" He goes, "Practice."
Right.
So I think he's being honest there and straight up, like, I practiced it. Like,
right.
So maybe what someone said in another theory video was that his parents or his mom, who, spoiler alert, there is credits on IMDb for a character who plays his mom. Mm-hmm. So it looks like we might get a flashback of Jod Nawood. So maybe his mom was part of the Jedi Order and execute Order 66 happened.
Yeah.
And Jod escaped.
Maybe she's a witch.
A space witch?
A space witch.
A witch being?
They're like, we got to tie in Acolyte somewhere. We got to pull it out.
Yeah, Mike, the showrunners also, someone asked him about this great work being from the High Republic, and he did say yes, it was a term used in that High Republic era, so thousands of years ago, but he says it's not that. Like, he didn't give us the spoilers, but yeah, so they're not working on something from 1,000 years ago. But
I think it has
to lie all the time, these people, like.
Yeah,
Leslie
I think it has
Yoda
to be
wasn't in the Acolyte.
What would that be? Episode 2 or 3. Palpatine said, "Okay, in case this shit goes wrong, we're gonna hide this planet. We'll control it with droids, I guess."
That's. I'm gonna stick with that theory for now, and unless
I think that's interesting. I have no reason to doubt that in any way, except that possibly it would be cooler to. For the curtain to be pulled back at Oz and it be Thrawn or whoever, or Snoke. This is Grand General Snoke.
Thrawn at this time he's
lost.
Well, no, he's with the witches on that planet. Well,
Yeah.
Ahsoka and her friends are stuck on that planet.
Right.
Because
Yeah. So
Thrawn escaped via the space whales, I believe, or the space circle thing that they built or whatever. I don't know, but yeah, I don't think it's Thrawn, but Thrawn is not with his people yet. Like he's just one ship. Somewhere there's other, say, ships in his fleet. I'm assuming somewhere,
yeah,
right?
because in that Ahsoka, there was a room full of Imperial leaders.
Yes,
So,
all over the galaxy, right?
Be much more interesting to have it tied to that, whether it's through the droid as the leader, but
it for sure will, because it is the same timeline,
right
in the Mandoverse timeline, like Ahsoka and Mando and Book of Boba Fett. So,
which would
another
determine
thing brought up in the show is, Captain Brutus and Urkel. Urkel's like, should we go get him? Should we go get him, boss? And Fire Captain Brutus is like, no, get the bounty hunters. Let's put a bounty on him. So, will we see bounty hunters that we want to see?
right.
Hell of an opportunity to bring the Book of Boba Fett.
Or maybe bounty hunters we don't want to see.
Well, who do we not want to see?
I don't know. I'm sure there's like possibly new ones that they invent.
But they better be as cool as Captain Brutus cool.
They better be as cool. It's like that was the big miss in
not like
Obi-Wan.
Circle and like,
yeah,
a kid from Family Ties and another kid from
Step by Step.
I don't want those bounty hunters, please. Yeah. Like,
well, that was
Punky
the big.
Brewster's gonna show up like, Punky Brewster, the bounty hunter.
Yeah, that was the big miss in Obi-Wan when they made that droid not Forlom, / Zuckuss. That was like the biggest.
Yeah, but it was a familiar droid, and he was cool.
It was cool, but the backstory, which of course may have been changed, but like the original backstory,
Zero droid or something. Yeah.
No, that was the one from Mando.
Oh yeah, because he was a little different.
He was a little different. But the one from Obi-Wan, that Forlom style droid, he was supposed to be like, that's a protocol droid. Hey, keep it down in there, Munchkins. That was a protocol droid, and Forlom was supposed to be special in the sense that he reprogrammed himself.
Yeah.
To become a hunter. So he really, just like the original Boba Fett, like Forlom is supposed to be the only droid of that type that is a hunter. And they threw all that shit out of the window when they.
Well, as kids, we probably thought IG-88 was one of a kind too. Like, and then we meet, IG-11, like the exact same model, but just a couple of years later.
Well, I thought I remember the IG series of droids fairly. It might not have been until the 90s, but there was definitely a story where we realized that that's like a army, a fleet of droids manufactured to do that job. Whereas the Forlom droid is literally a C-3PO.
So my hope, if we do see some bounty hunters like introduced next week, I hope we get to see like one we haven't seen come back yet. So yes, I would love to see Boba Fett, Black Chrysanthemum, and Fennec Shand. But I don't know if they're like bounty hunters for hire, right? They're kind of hanging out in Tatooine, being the king of the thrones there. But we got like a Bosk or Zuckuss and Forlom. We haven't seen them.
Dengar, man.
As far as I know, in canon, they're not dead. They're just older.
Yeah.
We've had lots of
Trandoshans. A droid and a cockroach aren't going to age terribly.
We've had lots of Trandoshans, but we haven't seen Bosk.
Right.
IG-11 is cool, so we don't need to see IG-88. But if it is actually IG-88, like even more cool. But that would be.
He got destroyed on Cloud City, right?
I guess he did. I guess, yes.
Boba Fett but of course, he's just a droid. It's not like you can't put him back together.
Right? Yeah, he got destroyed in Mando, too, and they remade him into like
exactly.
I
want to see, as long as they do it really cool, I want to see Dengar, man. Like
Dengar's the last one. He's the last one.
Man,
so why not?
He was always my,
because there is a character in the sequels that's apparently is Dengar, but he's been like roboted a little bit because he's been through so much shit. And
I kind of remember that now,
Yeah.
and I for whatever reason, I kind of remember that, and I also remember going, no, I'm
yeah,
not.
but I mean, it's I don't know if it's official, but they kind of it's in one of the books that it.
Man, I always thought Dengar was a bad mamma jamma, like from original Empire days. Like Boba Fett's cool because he has spurs and shit, but like you got this like 68-year-old dude. You know, it's like real John Wayne vibes to me.
Exactly, very much so.
Man,
Yeah,
Dengar must be a hard ass motherfucker, huh?
Bosk would be cool, and he would speak English, but with a hiss.
Yeah.
So it would fit in the pirate show, with lizards talking with a hiss.
He'd talk like all those snakes from the Disney movies, like the Robin
course.
Hood. And,
there you go, another show to pull from.
Yeah,
and he'd be wearing a crown.
You have a look that goes down. Yeah, why not?
So yeah, that's me and Lack and what we thought of the Skeleton Crew.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see what happens, man. I mean, I'm not off of it.
Let us know what you thought of the episode, and if you think what you think At Attin is, and what's the great work, and who the Grand Poobah leader droid is of the planet, because it's going to be someone. If they end the series and we don't find out that, then I'll hang them up.
Yeah, no,
but,
yeah, totally feel shafted in that respect.
Yeah, because we've gotten shafted a few, like the Acolyte. We got shafted, like
total letdown.
As much as we had fun watching it, because we got that little bit of shaft at the end, not knowing who the stranger really is, and his master peeking around a cave, like just kind of, and May and Osha just kind of like going their separate ways and switching jobs. Yeah. And then like, okay, so what about the answers to all that, which we might not ever get now. Hopefully we do in a comic or a book or something, because it is
it's like it was just now getting interesting too.
Well, it was an unfinished story, and that was my biggest letdown of that series. And then I guess it's natural, but my biggest letdown of the Ahsoka series will be that we can't see Baylan Skoll again, like from that actor. So hopefully they don't just write off that character, and we do get to see that character again, because it was a cool character.
Him standing on that statue there at the end was like, that was like the moment, and you're like, oh, this show was worth watching.
Yeah, man.
And then you're like, well, I guess he had to go and die, But,
so yeah, it'd be cool to see
this, Rick.
Bounty Hunters.
If 10 is Andor, and 0 is Ahsoka,
yeah,
where are we so far? Skeleton Crew.
I'm loving it. So in the Mandoverse, the beginning, season 1, season 2, Amanda were the most badass, and I still love them to this day. And they set a good standard for Disney Plus shows. And then Andor happened, and Andor raised the bar. Like, not all blue screen, not all stagecraft.
Turned it up to 11
in the forest, on the grass, by the dam, wherever they're making it in Ireland and England. Awesome. And I hear we're going to see a lot more of that going forward. A lot less stagecraft for the Mando movie by Favreau and Filoni. A lot less stagecraft for Ahsoka season 2 that's coming out of Filoni's cartoon mouth. So, and anything going forward now. Andor that's been finished. We know that wasn't all stagecraft.
Right.
Anything. If they do make a season 2 of Skeleton Crew, which they are, it has been brought up because the show has been a good success so far. So they're going to keep those guys paid and employed, I think, for another couple of years. Hey, let's write this story that takes place 5 years later, because the kids are going to age up a little bit until they make the next season, or if it's a movie, just as cool. But yeah, if this series is a success, I can see them continuing with a season 2 5 years later, or a movie set in the Mandoverse. And guaranteed, Jod Na Nawud will be a front runner character in the Mando movie coming forward.
Oh yeah, yeah,
And
yeah.
maybe the kids. But unless the kids
So
are all Jedi.
so what's your number rating?
Oh, sorry, to get on to that. I'm gonna say a solid 8.
Oh wow.
A solid 8. So it's up there. Like it could go down, like if they have some shit episodes.
Yeah, it's hard to be solid on your
But yeah,
number.
every episode, I really liked the first episode. It was badass. It was a great start. Second episode is a little dark and a little, dragged on a little bit. Didn't have that pirate action. And then the third episode had a bit of both. Had some action, had a bit of the kids' humor. We got a lot of Jod Nanawa. We got a lot of Jude Law acting now, which we haven't seen a lot of yet. We just kind of got a quick introduction to him in episode 2. So yeah, I'm digging it, man. I'm digging it. I think there's gonna be a couple more space cameos. Hopefully, it's not like Jack Black and Kevin Smith,
okay.
like clowns.
Yeah,
Clowns
give
in
us
space.
some real fucking.
But
shit.
if there are some more clowns in space, put them in an alien mask, or
yeah,
give them a pirate patch like Urkel,
yeah,
like a space eye.
Exactly. Too bad that they did great with all those like stormtrooper cameos. They're like, did you know he was in? He was in a.
And I'm just gonna say, I do want to see what version of the stormtrooper they're at right now. Like, are we gonna see them? Like, we know there's old remnant stormtroopers because we've seen them in Mandoverse, which is just random dudes wearing stormtrooper armor, right? So they're not real Imperial guys. They're remnants. They're leftovers who's, like a cartel or whatever, a gang. And then we got zombie troopers with Thrawn. Same timeline. And then we haven't seen other troopers. So this is pre-First Order stormtroopers, which is a whole new armor and what I'm assuming are not clones, but maybe they are clones again. Like maybe that's what's going on right now in At Attin is they're cloning.
Yeah, maybe they're trying to make another army or something.
They're cloning another army of stormtroopers like they did in the prequels. So that'd be interesting because either that or all of these kids are being trained to become First Order stormtroopers.
Right.
Which I don't think the helmet will fit. He's a little too short for a stormtrooper.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, so that's what we thought of the Skeleton Crew.
Yeah.
And that's the after show. And that's what we gotta say about that.
Left coast is the best coast.
And for homework this week, kids, watch either Goonies or Peter Pan or Treasure Island or any of those fun things. And you're going to enjoy this series a lot more. I guarantee it. Like I watched Goonies a couple of nights before episode 1. And almost in every scene now, I see similarities in how they're not copying, but they're paying homage to a lot of these things, like even just showing the skeletons and all that kind of stuff. But thanks to everyone who showed up in the chat and joined us, and thanks for watching on the replay. Replays count. If you catch it on the replay, please comment on the comment section below, and if you've not already, subscribe or smash that like button.
Smash that black button, baby.
I don't know what you're doing here. Get the F out of here.